What about Sayedet? Is he online right now?
Not yet, probably. Okay, so he can come next. Okay, we can. Okay, now. We just wait a little bit for Venerable Sayedet. Okay. So can we start our program right now? And probably Venerable Sayedet will come later.
Okay.
We will come him later. Okay. Yeah, because it's time. So to start our program, today is 20th March 2021. That President Raja Buddhist University organized the program about the international Dhamma talk. And the topic, our topic today is peace building through a Buddhist perspective.
Good morning, Sayedet, Wong Subha.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, good morning. Yeah,
Venerable
Sayedet. Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning to all.
We get honor.
Good morning, sir.
Venerable Dr. V, Venerable Samat.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, so today is a great honor that we have our speaker for our program, Peace Building Through Buddhist Perspective. And our speaker today is number one. One is His Eminence Samdai Pramaha Arya Wang, Dr. Kisavandatana, acting rector, President Raja Buddhist University. Two, Venerable Dr. Sompong Kunakuro, Vice Director, International Buddhist Studies, College at Mahajulangkon Rajavshalai Buddhist University from Thailand. And number three, our speaker number three, we have Venerable Sayedet Wong Supha, former Secretary General to His Holiness Pramaha Pong Samaluk, who is the President of Central Buddhist Fellowship Organization, Out Loud, PDR. And our speaker for number four, Venerable Soktivi, the President of Dhamma Dhammika Academy from USA. So this is our speaker for our program today. I would like to take your attention a little bit to our topic that we are going to discuss this morning. That, as we all know, all people, all family, community, country, and the world at large, that we need to live within peace, happiness, and prosperity society. But if we look back, if we learn about the history of the world, we will learn that the world mostly experience more war than peace. This is what we learn from the past history. And what the most tragic war are the World War I, World War II. World War II is well recognized about that. We know about that. Everybody know about it, about World War I, World War II, that started early 20th century that killed many million people and a lot of mass destruction. Yeah. So after the First World War, World War I, World War II, the United Nations established the United Nations, and especially established the United Nations Security Council in 1946. Yeah, in order to guarantee or to keep the world orders. But even though the United Nations create the United Nations Council, but the world still have a lot of problems, especially the wars. Like recently, around this more than 10 years, we know a lot about the war. Many war happened in the world, especially in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Libya, in Syria, and in other part of the world. And this is what happened in the past and the recent years. Now the conflict is happening in Myanmar, in Asian country. As everybody knows, the Myanmar is the Buddhist country, and that, but a lot of doubts, a lot of questions raised that why the Buddhist country happen like that, especially that the conflict like that. As we know and as we learn, we study a lot about the peace study, about learn, and many conferences we join, and all over the world that always admire, always raise Buddhism is peace religion. The teaching of Lord Buddha teach people to have the Brahma Vihara, metta, loving kindness, karuna, compassion, mudita, sympathy, joy, and extra. Yeah, especially to love each other, respect each other. This is the concept of Buddhism that the Lord Buddha taught us. The problem is why the problem always happen like that. So this is the matter that we need to discuss this morning. Yeah. So into our topic about the peace building. So first hour, I would like to raise this question to Venerable Dr. Sompong. Please, what is the definition of the peace? The word peace.
Okay, thank you, Venerable. Thank you, everyone. Good morning, everyone. So you can see recently, so not only in Myanmar, the conflict is there, but I can say that the conflict available across the world, but different kind of the conflict. With the conflicts of because of the ethnic, conflicts because of the politic, even the conflict because of the religions. So religions available across the world also. So all the religions try to teach and try to give them the reasons how to stay together peacefully. So I think that all religions, they have strategy to do that. Every religion has the theory to do that. Better the theories and practice, the way to practice to get the peace to society. So the main thing is that the situations recently different from previously. How different? Society recently is not the single society. I think because of not single societies that conflict is coming. Why? Because previously you can see we stay together better the inside society, only one religions, only one nationalities, only one ethnic. So easy to talk, easy to stop when the conflict occur. But recently the situation changed. But how to change? Because society is not single as I said previously, but society is a multiple society, or so many ethnic, so many cultures, so many languages of the people who come from different backgrounds to stay together in Thai society. So when they stay together, when each people have the different background, they stay together inside society. Definitely, they may not able to understand each other. For example, when we go to another countries, we stay with the people with different religions. So we may not able to know what is the right thing to do, what is the bad thing we have to prevent. So that's I am going to say that to prevent the conflict, it's my occurs. We have to learn from each other the way to do, the way to practice. But turn to the Buddhism. So Buddhism, I can say that the religions of the peace. Okay, every religions claim that they are.
So what the definition, according to the Buddhism, what is the definition of the peace? Yeah.
Okay, the peace in Buddhism, we have two kind of the peace available. First, eternal peace. The second one, inner peace. So when you can calm your mind, so that the peace come to you. That the peace come to you. So when you cannot calm to your mind, you cannot practice to calm your mind. So you cannot get the peace. But Buddhism emphasize on inner peace first before eternal peace. So in Buddhism, peace is mean you calm your mind. You calm your mind. When you cannot calm your mind, so you cannot get your peace into your mind. Then when you don't have the peace into your mind, how can you spread the peace to society? So I can say that according to Buddhism, first we start peace in ourselves first before to spread the peace to society. This is the peace in Buddhism.
Thank you so much, Venerable Doctor, for the definition of peace. And also, I would like to give this question to Venerable Sayadaw. Yeah, according to your viewpoint, so what is the definition of peace?
Good morning, most venerable sir. So, thank you very much for inviting me to join this discussion. Peace, actually, peace. We all know already about peace, according to Buddhism. Peace, it means that without doing any harm to others, it means peace. Peace is the definition that we have to learn and practice, not just the definition. I strongly agree with most venerable Dr. Sompong that we have to develop the peace in ourselves. That means in inner peace or individual peace. Actually, Buddhism have the general rule, that means like 5 precepts. If most of the Buddhists or other people in the world, not only Buddhists, observe the 5 precepts, that we can create fundamental peace or basic peace already. And after that, when we develop more about our mind, that means mental culture or mental training, that then we can attain the higher peace. I mean peace in terms of spirituality, not just practice according to the 5 precepts. So peace means without doing any harm to others. It means peace. And everyone in the world wants peace. But peace in terms of other culture, maybe they gain peace through war or through fighting. But according to Buddhism, we have to create or build peace without violation or violence. That is my point of view, according to.
Yes, thank you so much, Venerable Sayadaw, for your answer led to the definition of peace. And as you mentioned, the peace means to not harm others. Peace means the calms in our mind. So with this and concept, the Western world call Prince of Tata, even he's not yet Buddha, is a lot Buddha, called Prince of Tata is the peace prince. We read a lot of book about that. The Western world wrote the book that mentioned about peace prince, or called Buddhism as a religion of peace. So I would like to raise this question to His Eminence Samdai Kisavan whether it is true or not. Related to what the Western world consider Buddhism as a peace religion, or Prince of Tatas as peace prince. What factor that considered to be like that?
Yes. Namo Buddhaya. The homage to the Triple Gem and my respect to all venerables and ladies and gentlemen, devotees. Yes, as we have known and we have studied, then we learned that Prince Siddhartha, who was a bodhisattva, before becoming a Buddha, all his activities, his life, his character was so peaceful and harmonious. One of the events during his lifetime that we all very well know, when his cousin Devadatta shot an arrow to a bird and a bird fell down. He took care of the bird and cured the bird, and he did not like the act committed by his cousin Devadatta. It showed a lot that even the life of animals or birds was so precious to him. And there are many other events in his life which could be considered a peace-loving activities. So because of Prince Siddhartha's Bodhisattva's life and activities and events related to his life, the Buddhists as well as non-Buddhists, especially Westerners, have accepted that Prince Siddhartha was a peace lover and he was a person of peace, and he was trying to make peace in his society even before he became a Buddha. And of course, after becoming a Buddha, he did everything for establishing peace and for maintaining peace in his organization as well as in the societies and all places where he went. So this is very important in Buddhism, that all Buddhists and non-Buddhists alike have recognized that Buddhism, or especially the founder of Buddhism, the Buddha or the former Prince Siddhartha, is a peace-loving person. And Buddhism became known as a peace-loving religion or non-violent religion, ahimsa. That's the the sign or the label that we used to hear from many people, from, as I said, Buddhist and even non-Buddhist. But it does not mean that the Buddhists, though they cherish peace, they would practice according to the tenets or the teachings of the Buddha. That's another point. The theories or the teachings does not mean that reality would be the same. So that's what, in general sense, theories and practice may not be correspondence. So it depends on how people carry out the teachings and put into their practice, put into their own life activities. That's, I think, more important. Though we have so precious theories and teaching of peace, loving, but if we don't practice it, it does not make any meaningful sense, make any benefit to ourselves, to others, to societies, and to the world at large.
So thank you so much, Samdai, for your answers about this. And as I mentioned earlier, all the people all over the world, they need peace, happiness, and prosperity. However, we see that many problems happening, especially related to the war, some part of the world. So related to this one, I would like to ask a question to Venerable Suchivi. And what are the factors that bring peace to the individual, to the community, society, or the whole world, according to the teaching of Buddhism?
Thank you so much. First of all, let me pay homage to the Triple Gem, the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. And I would like to pay great respect to Brahmaha Rijavangsa, Venerable Dr. Kisavanratana from Cambodia, and great respect to Most Venerable Dr. Sampung Kundakaro from Thailand, and also Venerable Dr. Sayadet Vongsupa from Laos. Thank you so much for having me today. I think it's a great program that President Uraja Buddhist University of Cambodia has organized this discussion in a platform so that we can share and give, contribute the idea from the teaching of Buddhism, how we can share opinion to the situation that is happening in the world today, like in Myanmar, for example. So I think to getting to know what are the factors that bring peace, as most of Venerable had already mentioned about the definition of peace. So it depends on how we define the word peace. So basically, the world understands peace is the, is the freedom of disturbances. That can be the freedom from violence, the freedom from war, the freedom from, any, insecurity in the society. But in the field of Buddha's teaching, as we usually see the Pali term as santi, or sometimes used as kema, he refers to the, to the security, mental security, mental peace, or mental calmness and tranquility. So it can be defined in terms of external peace and internal peace, but Buddhism most specifically define peace in a way of, mentality. So peace comes from within ourselves. When we want the world to experience peace, it must come from, each individual level. From each individual level, it will spread to the family, and then to the community, to the society, to the country, and then to the world. I remember the quote from late His Holiness Samdech Mahakosananda of Cambodia. He talked about, when you make peace with yourself, you make peace with the world. Let me quote his slogan. I think it is very popular in the Western world because he was, one of the very active, monks who walk for peace, who spread the message and love of peace. So his slogan goes like this: from great compassion makes a peaceful heart. A peaceful heart makes a peaceful person. A peaceful person makes a peaceful family. A peaceful family makes a peaceful community. A peaceful community makes a peaceful nation. A peaceful nation makes a peaceful world. So he stresses the importance of, compassionate heart. When our heart is filled with compassion, with loving kindness, a thought of metta, a thought of non-violence, avihangsa, like it is taught in the Samma Sankappa, right? The second of the noble 8 factors that the Buddha taught about, the right thinking. When our thought is free from violence, the thought is free from sensual pleasures, the thought is free from harming others, there and then peace prevail. So we cannot find peace in the place where there is violence, in the place where there is, social insecurity, where there is, corruption, where there is unjust leadership or unrighteous leadership. So peace must come from pure heart, come from a heart which is full of compassion and love, So in terms of individual level, we must build peace by, ourselves, because peace cannot be bought, but it can be built. So how are we to build peace? There are a lot of theories and teachings that the Buddha expounded, the way in which we can build peace, in short, by, practicing the good conduct, observing moral precepts, at least the 5 precepts as taught in the Buddha's teaching. Started from the very beginning, the intention to refrain from harming or killing any living beings, right? Panatipata Veramani. So I think this is the factor that lead to build peace for individual. So when individual is well equipped with peace, only then one can spread the peace around to their friends, to the family, to the community, and then to the nation and the world at large. So I think it's important to start from the individual level. In the case of leader of the world, if any leader can practice, good moral conduct, at least to observe the 5 Buddhist moral precepts, refraining from killing, refraining from taking what is not given, refraining from telling lies, sexual misconduct, and intoxicated drinks and drugs, etc. So these are the way which lead to peace and harmony. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Venerable Sukdevi, to answer this question. I also would like to give this question to Venerable Dr. Sompong.
Yes, Eleanor. Yes. The same question?
Yeah.
The factors of the peace?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you again. Okay, actually, when we talk about the factor of the peace, so we have to know that what's kind of the peace and what kind of the conflict we have to solve the situation. So I can say that the situation first, before the conflict coming and after the conflict coming. So before the conflict coming, what should we do to prevent that conflicts might come? And another one, when the conflict coming, how to stop that? So everything that, for example, before how to prevent from the conflict. So definitely we use first 5 precepts, the precept especially for the first one, killing. So Buddhism emphasize on we have to prevent from killing or any kind of the harm. So especially the first precept of, for example, the Panatipata. So 5 precept is we have to practice we have to practice before the conflict coming. But when the conflict coming, how to do that? How to stop that situation? So I can say that regarding Buddhism, first, patience. Patience really necessary. For example, when the conflict is coming, definitely you have enemy. Definitely you have enemy. When you lose the patience, so definitely you have to play, you have to take revenge. Definitely you have to take revenge. Finally, you might deteriorate the situation. So, but how to practice patience? So I can, especially in Visuddhimagga, they said, we have to know the dangers of the hatred. How can we know the dangers of the hatred? So according to Visuddhimagga, they said, first we have to consider that when the people hate us, when you are angry, you can kill, you can do whatever you want. You can take the life of the people because you have the hatred mind. The second one, you have to consider about the advantage of the patient. Buddha said, no rule is better than patient. No greatest thing than patient. So in the term of the patient, we can use every situation, not only for the normal situation, not only for the education, but even for meditation. Yes. The third one, I can say that as Venerable just mentioned, compassion or metta. So metta, we can use every situation, but for this situation, this means after the conflict coming, how to stop that situation. So we turn to ourselves first. Ourselves first, that means we have to develop our metta, our compassion. How to develop that? When we turn to Visuddhimagga, in Visuddhimagga they mention 10 courses, but I will talk only a few courses about how to tend to have the compassion, to stop the conflict, to stop the enemy. For example, when you have enemy, that means you have resentment in your mind. How to get rid of resentment? How to control your resentment? For example, and when you see that your enemy is coming, so definitely you cannot stop your angry feeling because you remember what they have done to you. So when resentment still available into your mind, you cannot practice meditation. Why? Because while you practice meditation, you imagine about your enemy. Definitely you imagine what they have done to you. So how to stop that resentment? How to change the enemy into your friend? Yes. First, they said we have to practice uh, loving kindness. But how can we know that loving kindness available now? So when you make sure that you have compassion now, try to remember your enemy. If you remember your enemy, still resentment is coming, anger is coming. So you fail to practice meditation. Another one, remember what Buddha teaching. Buddha said that to repay the angry man. So that means you are not different from the angry. Yes. But when you are not angry to the angry man, they said you win in the better hard to win. That means it's very tough to win your mind when you have the angry. And another one very necessary, very necessary that when you have the enemy, so you try to imagine what the bad thing they have done to you, because not every people do all the bad thing. For example, uh, speech, doing, talking, doing. They do something is good, but some word is not good. So we imagine only what they have done is good, never concerned about what they're talking. Some people they talk very nicely, but doing is bad behavior. So we concern only what they have talked, not what they have done. So that we select the good behavior more than the bad behavior. And another one, we have to consider about the factors of the human being. When you angry, for example, I angry your vulnerable. To where I have the angry, I angry to you on your head, your hair, your hand, your body was kind where to angry. Finally, I cannot find where to angry because five element, your element consists of element. How many element? Fire, earth, water, something like that. Finally, when we separate element, each element, we cannot find where to angry. Yes. So another one I can show you that when we angry, how to change the enemy into friend. The last one very, very necessary I can mention that to offer the gift vulnerable, offer something to enemy. But the point is because of you might think that that man, he has done something to me badly. How can I offer? How can I offer the gift to him? So that's because of your ego. So he should offer something to me first, not me offer something to him first. That's because of the ego. That's really tough for us. But we have the thing to do as the Buddhist tradition. So within the year, we have so many occasions. For example, birthday celebration. We have so many occasions, birthday celebrations, and any kind of the good celebration, any kind of the good festival. So for example, New Year festival or any kind of Buddhist New Year festival. So we try to find out that festivals or that occasion, and we offer the gift something to him. Then that's to offer the gift something to him. This means to say sorry about this. So after that, we can change enemy to our friend. This is the big strategy to for the factors of how to create the peace from first before the conflict coming. How to do that is we can use the 5 precepts or the ethics, and after conflicts coming, so how to stop deteriorations of the situation. That's mean patience, another one, loving kindness. That's valuable. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Venerable Doctor, for your answer led to the factor that bring peace. And yeah, definitely that to bring peace to even to individual, to the family, community, and society, or the world, we need to have we need people to have good conduct. We need people to have precepts like 5 precepts, 8 precepts, 10 precepts, or whatever to the precept. Even in Buddhism, besides Buddhism, we need to have patience, compassion, Brahmavihara. The 4 Brahmavihara we famous in Buddhism, and also many factors that you mentioned. And so this is the factor that lead to, or we can say the factor that bring peace to even to individual, to family, community, and country, society. So I would like to ask this another question to His Eminence Samdai Doctor, and as Venerable Suchevi and Venerable Doctor Sompong mentioned the factors of the that bring peace. So what is the importance? What is the importance of peace for the society or the country?
He's mute. He cannot
Mute.
Yeah.
Good morning again to all. Yes, that's a very important question. Thank you. Peace is very important, essential, and necessary for each and everyone, for all. There have never been bad peace and good war. As we go by the theory, there's negative peace and positive peace. Negative peace means just the end of war and conflicts, meaning the end of violence. But positive peace, there's harmonious living, respect for life, respect for human rights, equality, and social harmony, and so on. So in these two aspects, peace is very precious. Everyone loves peace. Even they commit, the person who commits violence, I think he loves peace for himself or for themselves. But only his action is contradictory. He wants peace for himself, but in contrast, he commits violence to others. As the Buddha says that all tremble at the rod. Sape tadanti tantassa. So everyone fears violence, fears the harming or killing, and love, peace, and happiness for him or herself. But only the actions from each individual, as we, the ordinary persons or Patujana, we are embedded with the hatred, delusion, and greed. So sometimes, though we want peace for ourselves, we don't really realize that others also want peace for themselves. And they don't do or make peace in both aspects, as I mentioned earlier, to others, to the society, to the world. So in any case, peace is very important. Peace means once you have peace, you have the self-satisfaction, happiness, inner tranquility, and the surrounding environments, that you have very pleasant atmosphere, very good environment to live in, and economic prosperity and well-being of the societies of the country. This in the larger context. So peace is very crucial, very essential for each, for everyone, for humans, for animals, for the environments, for the nature, for the society, for the country, and for the world. So that's what everyone aspires to have peace, to get peace. But sometimes it does not happen. It happens in the contrary manner. As the Buddha says sometimes that what we desire, we don't get. And what we get, what we don't desire. As the Pali stanzas goes, the Achitang lapate na achitang lapate achitang. So that's sometimes the things which happens in this world, and we somehow have to deal with all these phenomena which happen to us, to all of us in the world. And if we talk about the war or armed conflicts, sometimes it's caused by few persons, but the suffering for all the people. So this is the end of, I mean, the in the negative sense that the what peace implies, in the negative sense, in the end of armed conflicts, the end of war. But when the war or the conflicts happen, the masses, the people at large who suffer the most, not the persons who commits the war or the armed conflicts or the violence. This is the point that we need to remember. What we do, the other peoples will feel it, will receive it, will suffer. If we do the bad things, for example, the violence, war or armed conflicts or any quarrels, the environment is very bad. The surrounding is really object. I mean, it's so dark, and the mood of the people, if they even they don't receive the repercussion of violence, but the mood of the people is not happy. So in this, the Buddha stressed that peace need to prevail. We need to have peace in order even to practice the Dhamma. When there's no peace or tranquility, no good environment, the Dhamma cannot be practiced, because the mind is not peaceful, the mind is not tranquil. How can we practice the Dhamma? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for your answer related to the factor that bring the importance of the peace for the society. And also would like to give this question to Venerable Suchevi. So according to your ideas of what is the importance of peace to the society?
Yeah. When we talk the importance of peace, I think peace is a requirement actually. It's not something favorable or unfavorable, but it is a requirement for even individual, from individual level to the international level. Even, you know, when we talk about the individual level, suppose when there is no peace within a person, you know, how a person are going to commit to oneself and to society. When there are disturbances arise in the mind of individual, so that person tend to do something wrong, tend to cause harm to oneself and to others. Let me take a story of, you know, in the Jataka story, like the Kisa Kudami of Padajara. There was no peace in their mind, so that's why their mindset is very different from the normal person. So normally when our mind is equipped with the, you know, calamity, with the disturbances because of our attachment, because of our sadness or sorrow that caused by something, so the mind is not peaceful. When the mind of a person is not peaceful, that person can commit a lot of mistakes and even, you know, can destroy one's life. And so if that person hold a, you know, a very important position in that community or in the world, he or she can cause a lot of destruction to the society. So it is very dangerous when our mind is not peaceful. Anger can overwhelm us. So with anger, we can destroy others. Low attachment also can overwhelm the mind, you know. So when we talk about peace in the teachings of Buddhism, he refers to peace not just on the surface level, but to the, you know, inner, what we call subconscious mind, in the sense of the, you know, psychological term. But in the teachings of Buddhism, peace is not just for ordinary peace, but, you know, the noble peace what we can say the absolute truth, nirvana. Nirvana is the absolute peace, right? There is no any other peace than nirvana, paramatta satya. So by controlling one's mind or restraining one's mind from the disturbances like the defilements, the greed, hatred, and delusion, then one can be peaceful. So peaceful mind is very important for one to be happy, and for those around us to be happy as well. There is Buddhist saying that raised in the Pali stanza, apya pachang sukhang loke. So the non-violence is the source of peace, is the origin of peace, right? So when there is peace, when there is the absence of harming one another, peace can prevail. So we can see that without peace, there is no happiness, there is no any development. When there is no happiness, there is no development of any kind, of any field, in terms of religious or spiritual development, social, economical, cultural, context. In any aspect of the country, there will be no development without peace, right? That's why people all around the world, they promote the idea of peace. Even the Buddha himself, he never encourage any kind of violence that cause to to the insecurity of the country, because peace cannot prevail when there is insecurity of the country. So peace must prevail, because peace is requirement for people's lives to live happily and harmoniously. So we can see that in the teachings of the Buddha, he very often stresses the importance of how peace is, how important the peace is. In the concept, when I remember the story from the Jataka as well, that talks about the dispute between the Goliyas and the Sakyas, who was about to fight over the matter of water at the Rohini River, right? They were about to fight each other. So the Buddha, he was so clear about the politics and non-violence. He was a man who talks about peace, I think, more than anyone else. Not peace just for individual level, but he went on to focus about peace in society and the countries, because from one kingdom to another, they were trying to kill each other just because trying to get their own benefit. So the Buddha went there and intervene, interrupt them and prevent them from fighting each other. He asked, why are you fighting each other? They said, because they want the land, they want to occupy the land of the water. So he said, when you're fighting, many lives will be killed. So which one is more important between lives and the water? So they said, of course, life is more important. So is it worse that you kill a lot of lives just to get water? And what use is there when you don't live to enjoy the water that you gain because you already died? So they started to realize that peace is important than war, right? Because war can lead to the destruction of life, and one cannot enjoy what one gains because of the political power, because one has already lost one's life. So that's my idea. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Venerable Sutivi, for your answer to the importance of peace for the society. So, as His Eminent Samdai Premharaja Wong mentioned, and Venerable Sutivi, about the importance of peace for the society. So, as we all know what was listening to your answer, so I would like to ask a question to Venerable Dr. Supong. So, as we heard all the answer about the importance of peace. So, what the application? What are the application of people to participate in peace building and maintaining peace?
Mute.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Venerable. That's really necessary questions. When the people don't know how to build the peace, so definitely they may not able to know the way to build the peace, and they may not able to know what is the peace, what's kind of the peace, how to bring the peace to societies. For example, the people know only 5 precepts, but they don't know how to practice five precepts. So they know only panatipata, they know only atinatana, they know only kame sumishachala. So, but they don't know how to practice, the way to practice. That's 5 precepts is useless. This one also, we have the theories of peace, but if you know only the theory, so how can we practice rightly to bring the peace to societies? But firstly, we have to know that what is the purpose of the peace. If we don't know the purpose of the peace, we're not able to know the application to create the peace. So Venerable, one thing that what is the main purpose of the people? The main purpose of the people. So, you know, the Buddha word they said, Sukha Sanghasa Samaki. Sukha Sanghasa Samaki. So harmony is a happiness. Happiness, harmony. So in the term of harmony, so they can bring the peace to societies. But how to practice harmony? So definitely, if you ask me the application to practice to bring the peace to societies or to get the happiness to society, that I can say that harmony, how to harmonize the people, how to harmonize the people inside societies. For example, as I mentioned initially that if the single society is only one religion, only one ethnic, only one nationality, it's very easy to harmonize the people. But essentially, we can say that the society is multicultural society. It's not easy to harmonize the people. So Buddhism, I can say that regarding the applications of the Buddhism, I can say two of them. So 2 of them is mean, as we emphasize on individual peace first before eternal peace. So we have to train ourselves. We have to train ourselves to have the peace first before spreading the peace to society. How to train? How to train to have the peace? So we have to train mindfulness to have the mindfulness. How to train to have the mindfulness? So especially, for example, meditation. So we know very well that's what kind of the meditation we have, whether truncal meditations or inside meditation. So with our meditations, to train our minds, impossible to have the inner happiness and impossible to spread the happiness to society. That means peace to society. We cannot create peace to society without training our mind. The application to train, that means meditation. That means mindfulness. We have to practice mindfulness, Belenberg. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Venerable Doctor, for your answer to the question, the obligation of the people participate in peace building and peace maintaining. And I also would like to reach the question to His Eminent Samdech Premha Ariyavong about this point. What is the application of the people to participate in peace building and peace maintaining? And as Venerable Dr. Sompong mentioned about the application, the thing is the main purpose is the people have the ambition or have the purpose, what they need. And number 2 about the understand about the harmony and also individual peace or practice the precept properly. At the meantime, related to this question about the application of the people to join to build peace, the question from Miss Chasupip, that she asked the question like there are many people questioning why Buddhist faith country often the country prone to war or civil conflict. Because of the Buddhist people, they not really well practice of the precept, well understand about the concept of Buddhism. So please, Samdech, The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, and thank you to Ms. Supir for raising this very important question. The first part, what Venerable Un Samat has mentioned, the how to make peace and maintain peace. This is very important. I would cite the preamble of the Charter of the UNESCO, an agency of the United Nations, which says that since peace created by the mind, it is in the people's mind that peace must be built. So this is very important. Even the UNESCO Charter has recognized the importance of peace in the mind. From the Buddhist perspective, individual's mind is very important because it happens with the individuals, because individuals, with many individuals make groups, and then make groups make society, make communities, and make society, make the country, make the world. So when each and everyone's mind is embedded with peace, no violence, no mischievous activities can be created. Beside peace. So that's very important, that every individual has to create peace in their mind, has to really live the peace. Now, live the peace is very important, not just to know and just to learn the theory, but to live peace, to live the peace. To live the peace means you have to create every necessary things in order for peace to prevail. No, your life activities, even your thoughts, your speech, your mind, your thought has to be with peace. Then your environments will be at peace, tranquility, harmony. Because from even your speech, your thoughts, your action are already peaceful. So you yourself is peaceful, your environment is peaceful, your community, your groups, your family is peaceful, your society, your country, your world is peaceful. So this is very important from the Buddha's teaching point of view. Every individual's mind has to be trained with peace and have to be trained to live peace. As I stressed, to live the peace, not just to learn, not just to know, but to live the peace itself. This is very important. Second point, in order to make peace and maintain peace and order and harmony in society, we have to, when we are with peace, we have peace in ourselves, and with our all activities, we need also to make aware and to make known, to make others also love peace and live peace as well. we need to create necessary condition and the situation where peace can prevail. Otherwise, how much you talk, how much you do, but still there's no peace. I said that both aspects of peace, the negative and positive, we have to stress. I'm speaking here not only peace, which is the end of war, the armed conflicts or violence, but the positive aspect, the equality, the respect for human rights, the respect for life, respect for the harmonious living. All these have to be brought in. So it's very important that we need to live the peace ourselves, and we need to make others live the peace. The second point, the question raised by Ms. Chasupiep, the chairwoman of Center for Human Rights, Cambodia. She's always concerned with peace. I have met her many times, and she's always talking and also requesting us to try to teach, to speak on the respect for human rights. This is Ms. Josephine and all. What what the people know, sometimes they don't do it. That's very sad part of our life. See, for example, we know that this action, when committed, will bring bad consequences, but still we commit it, still we do it. I think no one of us has ever escaped from this, What? Because we ordinary people are embedded with this, as what the principal teaching of the Buddha, that Lopa, Dosa, and Moha. We have this entrance in our heart and soul. So sometimes, though we know, though we understand, but still we commit bad things. As long as we are still ordinary person, Pathuchana, I think this mischievous and unpleasant things, unpleasant action will sometimes at some point be committed by each and every one of us. But we have to know is that what we do, we have to be restrained. That's what is in the practice of meditation. When our thought is has gone astray, we have to know that it has gone astray. So we have to drag back and try to maintain, try to practice in a good way. That's what we have to be aware, and we have to be conscious at each and every moment, at all times. Thank you.
Thank you so much for His Eminence Samdai Brahmaya Wong to answer to the question about the application of the people participate in peace building and peace maintaining. Also, I would like to ask the question to Venerable Sutevi. So, what you have about this, about the participation of the people, or the application of the people participating in peace building?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, that when we make peace with ourselves, we make peace with the world. So everything, because society, the whole world is a combination of, the social animal, right? So we are the social animal. So we live in a society. That's why what one does will, bear great impact, influence on another. So it is important for oneself to be, for oneself to be well trained in terms of, mental culture, mental development. When one is well disciplined, with morality, good conduct, concentration and wisdom. So this is the contribution to the world, right? We normally we always undermine, the importance of individual behavior. Actually, everything, get influenced from one, to another. So like take for instance, in the family, when one member of the family is doing bad, so it will influence the whole family. If a child behaving, unrighteously, if behaving very bad, so it will cause a bad fame to the whole family. So one whole family who has bad fame will also, influence to that community, to that village, to that city, and then to that country, So this is so the, the influence from one individual to another person and to the community at large. That's why each and every one of us has the responsibility to make peace with ourselves. Only then the whole world, can be at peace. Thank you.
Yeah, like the question from Miss Josephine asked the question that according to the people eyes, or according to the world's eyes, said see that Buddhist countries seem not really peaceful, not really have a harmonious society, have conflict. So what's the factor of what the application of the Buddhist temple to educate people about that? Venerable Dr. Sampong.
Yes.
So we focus on about that because we see the problem right now. We see the problem in Myanmar right now. This is the mistake of the Buddhist temple earlier, that they not really well trained, well teaching to the people. That's why the country happened like that. Even not Myanmar, even in Buddhist country, other Buddhist country have problem with that. So this is the mistake of the temple, not take fully application or teaching people the righteous way properly about it. That's why Buddhist country is not really peaceful.
There's not only our surprise about this, because we claim ourselves as we are Buddhists. Definitely, in the term of Buddhist, Buddha emphasize on prevent from killing, prevent from taking lives of the people, or prevent to take anything bad to the others. Surprisingly, Buddhist country became, but violence is coming. So like once, I was asked by the people from different faiths.
Yeah.
So not only that question asking, not only that question, not only Miss who asking about that. Yeah. I used to be asked by the people from different faiths. He asked, why they attending the conference, international conference in some country. I don't want to mention. He asked, Venerable, I saw so many Buddhist country, violence is coming. So many kind of violence. For example, conflict between religions, whether Buddhist and Christian, whether Buddhist and Muslim, like Rohingya and Buddhist countries and Rohingya, Buddhist and Muslim. What happened to Buddhists? Or Buddhist people try to harm the other people because of their study from Tipitaka. Like the people, they said the people, how to call this? The Muslim people always create the violence. As so many people, they said. This one also, because of the Buddhist people study from scripture, that they always create the violence also, they ask. So what I reply to him? I said, no. Buddha never taught us to harm another people, to create the violence. Buddha always taught us that how to stay peacefully with the other people. But some violence occur, not because of Buddha teaching, but because of the personal behavior. Why? Because you see, when we talk about the mind, two sides of the mind, immoral root of mind, like tosa, moha, lopa, tosa, moha, and another side, alopa, atosa, amoha. So essentially, we have two sides of mind. So when we cannot control the mind, so alopa is coming, atosa is coming, lopa is coming, tosa coming, moha coming. So when lopa coming, tosa coming, moha coming, so we will do the bad thing. For example, dosa, aversion. When we angry to the other people, so definitely so many things bad we have to take to the other people. Revenge, to take revenge to those people. But when a dosa is coming, we always observe to those people. We always to do the good things to those people. I am going to say that the people who do the bad, always the bad thing, even though they are Buddhism. So that means they never follow Buddha teaching. They never got the experience how to train the mind. Because without training the mind, you cannot control. When the angry moment is coming, you cannot control the angry moment, angry mind. When you use to train your mind, so you can control when the angry moment, angry mind is coming. When the you angry to the another peoples, then because of you got experience the way to train, then you can control that feeling. Don't forget that, Venerable. If the people who got training, definitely one thing that we always learned from the Buddhism, that human being not different. The people better belong to a different faith, belong to different background, belong to Muslim, belong to Christian, belong to Buddhism. So we are not different. How not fit different? So we are Buddhists, we afraid die. We afraid fear. We afraid hurt. We afraid suffering. We afraid friend. We don't want anyone to take our life. We afraid everything about the bad thing. Another people also, they afraid like we afraid. So if we never learn like this, so definitely violence is coming. We never concern another people. That means without training, Venerable. So without training, that they cannot control the mind. So finally, violence is coming. Finally, they can do whatever they want, depend on the immoral root of mind. Venerable, thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Venerable Doctor, for your answer to the question. Yeah, actually, for the peace and war, especially the war, happens not only just in Buddhist country, it happens everywhere, all over the world. And if you study about the world history, who made the war actually is not Buddhist country. Other country invade Buddhist country and other country as well. Actually, related to the Buddhist country, it refers to the South Asia region that has the conflict. It's not only about purely about the about moral education, religious education. It can be politically, political ideology. It can be a political geography. It's a big problem with the political geography in South Asia. In that lead to this kind of intense situation, a tough situation sometimes. So it's not just a short view. We do have a broad view to see the big picture. We will understand what's happening in this region. So this is the application of the Buddhist people, the application of the people in South Asia to study clearly about this. And before, Venerable Soktivi raised about the resolution, the Lord Buddha showed the problem between the Rohini water conflict between Korea and Sakya. So we saw the braveness of the Lord Buddha. He went into the battle zone. He went into the conflict area. And we also we saw the example in Cambodia about His Holiness Brahma Kusananda. He led the Dhamma Yatra, to the battlefield, to the battlefield during crossfire between the government and the both soldiers. So he went into the battlefield during the crossfire. So we look back to our situation present right now about the situation in Myanmar. Yeah, as a Buddhist country, as Buddhist leaders, and recently, when Venerable Sotevi mentioned also, His Eminence mentioned about the Pope Francis plan to visit the Myanmar to kneel in front of the leaders. So how about the Buddhists? How about the Buddhists? What can we do? Can we initiate any Dhamma Yatra to go over there from by all the Buddhist leaders, from all the Buddhist scholars, with thousand monks to video like what His Holiness Brahma Kusananda did before? So I would like to give this question to His Eminence Samdai Brahma Rajivong first.
Please, what's the point you want to talk?
I want to raise about the mood, a good model, good example, braveness of Lord Buddha, even into a battlefield, to solve the problem with Rohini water. And also we take the example of His Holiness Brahma Kusananda. He went into the battlefield in Thailand between the crossfire between the government and Pol Pot soldiers. So this is a very good example. So the current situation happening in Myanmar right now. So as a Buddhist country, as Buddhist leaders, whether we can take that good example to solve the problem in Myanmar, because yesterday Pope Francis announced that he would go into Myanmar and kneel in front of the leader to ask for the peace for the Burmese people. So what about Buddhists? According to your perspective.
Yeah, good points. The model of the Buddha going into the imminent battlefield in the Buddha's time between the Sakya and Kolya over the Rohini water. And yeah, in the modern time, His Holiness Samdai Brahma Ghosananda, the most well-known peace makers of Cambodia and well-known around the world, can serve as example. But there's pros and cons, for each and every things. Even the Buddha's intervention with in the war or the imminent wars between the Sakya and Kolya has been criticized by some others as well, and the Mahakosananda's peace march, which went to the battlefields during the civil war in Cambodia, has been criticized as well. So there's no any action which has not been accepted or criticized by others. There's some people who accept, some people who don't accept. There's the reality of the world. Those who criticize it, what for? If you go into the battlefield, sometimes you will lose your life. You cannot do anything without weapons. For example, like in the case of His Holiness Samdai Brahma Kusananda, some people heavily criticize him and the peace makers, the peace marcher, the people who march for peace, saying that, well, without any protection and no weapons to fight back, what can you do? but they don't understand the compassion and the desire from the Buddha, for example, the Buddha, and from His Holiness Samdai Brahmakosana Sanana, to make both sides stop fighting, at least, you know, at that moment, stop fighting and try to find a solution through peaceful means or negotiation. So this good example can be taken by the Buddhist leaders and Buddhist people in general. How we step into the battlefield or the conflict by not harming ourselves, but by solving the problems. You see, sometimes the issue is so complex, complicated, intricate, and we cannot really solve it. And if we think that maybe we cannot solve the problem, we cannot ask these people to follow our advice or our opinions, then it was useless to intervene. That's what in some of our leaders, Buddhist leaders or Buddhist people's mind. You know, they say if there's no impact by trying to intervene, by trying to step into these issues and try to solve, and if those parties into the conflicts don't accept our wish or our plea, what is the point? What is the use? This is always hangs in our mind, the Buddhist leaders as well as the Buddhist people. So it's useless of time, useless of effort, and sometimes it costs the life as well. Sometimes they feel that they would lose their credit, their credibility by trying but no result. So because of this, Buddhist leaders and Buddhist people really are really not committed, not do the things, because they're thinking of the result, the impact. But one positive things which they don't take into consideration is that though we may fail, but the image is very good. At least we have tried. Then the people and the world will see that, oh, they have been trying, but there's no avail, no result. So I think we should not be discouraged by thinking that there's no point, no result, no positive result of trying. Though we fail, but we may try again and again. That's what the virya, the parami, the perfection, one of the 10 perfection of the Buddha, that we have to try. Sometimes we may succeed. Failures does not matter as long as we have tried. As I'm believing in the trying and in the making effort, though the result may not be hopeful, may not be good. I mean, we may not succeed, but it's worth trying. It's worth trying. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Heisemin and Sundai. So in conclusion, mean that we should initiate the program like Dhammayata to Burma with all Buddhist leaders, not only special group of people, with all Buddhist leaders, with all the Buddhist scholars, and also with all the Buddhist followers to go with you together. So I would like to give this question also to Venerable Sayadaw, yeah. Now already come back. Please, Venerable Sayadaw. So what your viewpoint related to the any initiative for the peace walk to Myanmar or peace Buddhist resolution to Myanmar? Venerable Sayadaw, please.
It seems he's not with us right now.
Here, he is on. Venerable Sayadaw, you hear? Okay, so I would like to give this question to Venerable Sutivi, Nick, and Venerable Doctor. Please, Sutivi.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting question for the situation at the time being. It happens in Myanmar. The monks, a lot of monks in Myanmar have been marching, across Yangon city of Myanmar to ask for, peace resolution, because the monks believe that when there is, calamity happen in society, it cause a lot of destruction to the lives of people. The monk has also responsibility to take concern over what's happening, because as we follow the role model from the Buddha himself, whenever dispute, quarrel, or insecurity happen, if it was under his leadership, he would call upon, the parties of the dispute. Take in the case of the Bhikkhu Sangha, when there was any quarrel happen in the monastery, the Buddha would, call upon, summon the Bhikkhu Sangha in order to ask the fact what happened, and then he will give the solution, peacefully. He won't let the problem continue develop until, the big problem that can cause separation of the Sangha community. And if something which is harmful to the lives of people, and if it was not under his leadership, he would approach to that, battlefield by himself, like in the case of the Rohini River. So I think the Buddha was a social reformist. It was a human rights activist, right? Whenever there is violation, when there is killing of lives, he would intervene. But provided that he used his wisdom to solve it. If he see that solution, peaceful solution can be found, and then he will approach that area in order to give some advice. He would not use any power or any weapon to go against the hatred of the people, right? As we remember from the Dhammapada verses, Nahi Verena Averena. Never hatred, peace by hatred, by love alone does it cease. So the Buddha used the method of loving kindness to negotiate with the people. Despite what was happening, the war is going to happen. So he would not, add oil to the fire. So he will use his loving kindness and compassion together with wisdom. So we have to understand the important thing is that Buddhism does not just encourage about, loving kindness, but it has to be worked with wisdom. When compassion without wisdom, is blind, right? So we use the compassionate heart as well as the wisdom in order to find the peaceful solution to solve for a better society. In the same way, I think to answer that question, like what happening in Burma, we should do something. I mean, as a Buddhist leaders or a Buddhist community, we cannot just stand and see. So even if it was for the Buddha, I believe the Buddha would also do something. But to do something does not mean we have to, enter the battlefield. So we could do something, like today we initiate this program to talk about the world peace, how we as Buddhists can contribute to the peace of the world. So we can contribute each other's idea, to see how we can, join the ideas in, giving attention to the people. So the Buddha, when he entered the battlefield, he was not using any power or any weapon to go against the parties, but he was trying just to explain the importance of peace, how it would mean for us to live in peace, for society. So I think we can initiate by, sharing ideas, discussing program, and maybe also we could do, get a group of monks to do a chanting, to do meditation, or I have been doing lately because I was practicing in the Vipassana meditation, which is led by Goenka. So we joined on Zoom a group of 1,000 people who meditate and, sharing and radiating loving kindness. So ask for peace and praying for peace for the union of Myanmar. So I think that is one activity that we should do, and we may have another different methods in in helping and in contributing to the peace of the people in Myanmar, not just by entering the battlefield, but I think we should do something. We shouldn't just stay silent, because we are neighboring countries and we are the Buddhist countries, while other different religious leaders around the world, they they place their concern about what happened in Myanmar. So we as Buddhists, I think we shouldn't stay silent, right? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Venerable Sotivi, for your answer. Let me question about that. And Venerable Doctor, is your floor. Not here, please. Unmute, Doctor. Unmute your. Yeah.
Okay. That's the questions. I can say that the necessary question for the recent situations and the serious question also. So why? Because to enter the battlefield is not, I can say this, we reach our life. So what can we do? So we have to make sure that what kind of situation. We have to make sure that with whom we have to negotiate, to talk. We have to make sure that this place we have to negotiate with. The case, they never hear us. What should we do? I used to be asked by one of friends from Singapore about this, the situation in Myanmar, why Buddhists keep in silent. Even almost the soldier and the policemen belong to Buddhism. I saw the newspaper, one venerable, one nun, she tried to stop that. What the soldiers talk to, what the policemen talk to her. This is our duty. This is this order from our leader. So that means they didn't hear us. So what we can do, you have to make sure that who are you? Who are you? If we are the normal people, the people don't have the parami, I can say, we don't have the powers. How can we go enter the battlefield while the both sides fighting each other? So don't compare with the Buddha. We are totally different from the Buddha. Because Buddha have the powers. Buddha used to teach the people across India, even across the world by the time. Buddha have the power. Just one word, the people hear it and follow it. Just one word, the people follows and got enlightened. But what we are. So the point is, when we want to negotiate, it's better leader to leader. Leader to leader. It doesn't matter where, but its matter is the people. If you talk with the police in general, the police in general or the military in general, they might say, I got the order from the leader. They might stop for a while. And the other place, they might continue fighting. So this is my idea, Venerable.
Okay,
So,
thank you so much, Doctor. I also the last question because almost finished almost the time for our discussion. So the related to the Burma conflict. According to your idea, what is the resolution through that we can have? What the solution that we can have for the Buddhists we should do to have that platform, please.
okay, it's good for that. So firstly, we have to know the real situation in there first. The Buddhist monk in there, they know the situation really well. So for us, for the initially step, we have to talk with the Buddhist monk in there first to know the real situation. So after that, we try to cooperate with them to talk and negotiate with the leader who gave the order to his staff. Because even the leaders, they belong to Buddhism. They are disciples of the most vulnerable in there. So if we negotiate with them through their leader, to the most vulnerable monk in there, I think we can succeed to talking. Because as the foreigners, we are foreigners, even we are Buddhists. So we cannot interfere in the term of this. But we can do that. We have to cooperate with the Buddhist monk in there and join together to talk with the leaders, to remind them that we are Buddhists. We have to prevent from that's like this, etc. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for your idea about that matter. And also, I wanted to give this question to His Eminence Samdach. So, what the platform, what the initiative that as a Buddhist to do to help to solve that problem? What we need to discuss next with all the Buddhist leaders in the future to solve the problem.
Thank you so much. This is very complex and difficult point. For solution to the situation in Myanmar, as raised by Venerable Dr. Sampong, the leaders have the kind of power, the guts to be engaged in the looking for a solution. But other ordinary people also can do something to raise, for example, as we have been trying to do, like talk about peace and to find solution. And Venerable Soktevi has already mentioned that the other people, ordinary people, can also pray or chant for perform chanting and practice doing meditation for peace in Myanmar. This is what the general public can do. But to the point and to what we as we use the English expression to hit the nail on the head. We need to have a mission to understand completely or clearly what the real issues, and we have to understand from both sides, the military as well as the public and the former government leaders who have been toppled from power. So this is a very giant task we may not be able to do it, as people outside. So the most effective ways which we can be engaged is, as Venerable Dr. Sampong raised, that to provide any cooperation and assistance to the most vulnerable Sayadaws in Myanmar who may or who know the real situation, the real causes of issues there, and we may just provide the encouragement or any assistance, whether it's if the Myanmar Sayadaws or most monks there need our assistance in terms of opinions, or we may also provide certain logistic assistance that we can do. But to step into the country and into the real situation there, I think this is very difficult for our Buddhist leaders. Plus, our Buddhist leaders have never had such a tradition as well, to step into other countries and try to initiate a solution to a conflict or to a war. There has never been, in throughout after the Buddha's time, at least, and we cannot say that it was done by the Buddha, but as Venerable Dr. Sampong said, we are not the Buddha, we are different. So there have never been any records that the Buddhist leaders step into another country, in a different countries, and try to find a peaceful solution to any war or conflict. They have never been, as far as I know. So any practical solution is to cooperate with the Buddhist leaders in Myanmar, and if possible to provide logistical and some other necessary things to the Buddhist leaders in Myanmar. That's a practical way I can think of. I cannot think of any other things which is more practical than that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Samdach, for your ideas. And because the time almost finished, and I give this the last time to Venerable Soktevi to wrap up what you want to you have in your mind and to finish this program.
Yeah, Venerable Soktevi used to live in Myanmar, so he may understand the minds of those people, military leaders, as well as the public's mind.
Yeah, thank you so much for reminding me that. Even during my stay, from 2007 to 2010, I came across the experience of the same thing happened during the the leadership of President Tan Swe, the General Tan Swe. So in 2008, there was a very big demonstration, and it kills many lives as well. And a lot of Buddhist monks, joined the demonstration, but they do it peacefully by, getting a lot of, I think around almost 50,000 monks across the country join in the demonstration. So they march to the compound of Svetagong Pagoda. They sit together, do the chanting, and also meditation, and address their speech about asking for resolution. But it was solved 1 year later. So I believe that what comes to my mind right now, what we can do as a Buddhist community, I think at least we should address our concern over the situation happening in Myanmar. By addressing our concern, I don't mean that we we intervene in the the private issue of Myanmar, but we goes against the the violence the bad action. We don't go against any party. We don't go against the leader or any person. But in terms of peace building as a Buddhist communities, we condemned the act of violence over the life. So I think we stay equanimous. We stay in the middle. We don't bias toward any party. So what I have in mind, I think it could be practical if maybe Cambodia or the Thailand or Laos leaders, the Buddhist leaders, especially Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, who are the neighboring country of Burma, should hold the International Buddhist Conference to make our voice heard. I think it will be powerful. We can do it online like this, in an online platform where the world leaders, the Buddhist world leaders around the globe, come and address their concern over what happened in Myanmar. So we may condemn the action of violence. We don't hold the position of of any prejudice, but we just stay fixed with the non-violence. We want to promote peace. We don't want to see the violence happen in the Buddhist country. So we, as a Buddhist community, we can gather each other to address our voice, make our voice heard to the Burmese leaders. I think that is maybe the best idea I have right now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Venerable Suchavi, for your idea. And also 5 minutes to Venerable Dr. Sompong. What do you have to wrap up all this discussion this morning?
Oh, I think that's really necessary, Venerable, because even the situation also violence spreads across the countries and across the world. So we may not be able to have discuss face by face in the organizing the conference. So, but anyway, online is necessarily also is the best way to discuss in the term of the conflict, in the term of the how to solve the conflict, in the term of the how to make the Buddhist people or the people across the world to realize about the peace. It doesn't matter Buddhist or it doesn't matter another religion. It doesn't matter Buddhist. But as the human being, when the conflicts occur to societies, so that means affect to the people across the world also. Even just among the conflict is my place across the world. But how to stop the conflict, even the situations of the violence. So to organize the conference, the online is very necessary for that. That's only the way we can do effectively within the world. Thank you for that.
That's good, Doctor. Thank you so much for your idea. And also to His Eminent Sundai Doctor, please, for 5 minutes to wrap up your ideas for this morning discussion.
Yeah, respect to all for the last in this meeting. We Buddhists have to be more proactive and practical, and also need to be more engaged. This is my point of view. Prasyanuraja Buddhist University stands with the peaceful solution and non-violence. So we don't condone any acts of violence committed by anyone. Not to say we are against the war. That's already too bad to think of. So that's what our university has been trying to do, and we have been doing all along, that we try to promote the principle of peace and to make people aware of peace and try to maintain peace both in negative and as positive aspects. The end of conflicts, war and violence, as well as the creating social harmony, equality, respect for human rights, and for the decent living, living in a meaningful and decent manner. This is what our principle, and we have been doing so. So at the moment, what we can do, we have been trying to make platform like this, and Venerable Eun Samad has been doing this on behalf of the leadership of the Buddhist universities, and we will try more, and we all together will try to create more platforms in this direction. At least we can send our voice through the air, through this media, if it may be useful. But also we try to provide education of building peace and maintaining peace and order to the social general public. Though we may not be able to end the conflict in Myanmar or any other countries, but at least we can contribute to the education, the awareness of building peace and maintaining peace in society. So for this today, it has been very meaningful for all of us, and I hope that we Buddhists can be more engaged, and we can contribute more to building peace and social harmony in each and everyone's own society, and also in the world at large. And we hope and pray that the situation in Myanmar in particular, and in other countries around the world, be peaceful and harmonious, and may they find a peaceful solution to the conflicts and the problems. Thank you.
Thank you so much, His Eminence Samdaj, Dr. Kisavaratana, that wraps up for our Dhamma talk this morning about peace building through Buddhist perspective. So on behalf of Buddhist University, also on behalf of myself as the moderator, I would like to express my heartfelt thanks to His Eminence Samdaj Brahmarajavong, Dr. Kisavaratana, Acting Rector, Visnuraj Buddhist University, to be as a speaker this morning. Also, would like to express my grateful to Dr. Sampong Kunakoro as Vice Director of our International Buddhist Study College at Mahachulalongkorn Ratchathani Buddhist University from Thailand. Also, I would like to express my gratitude to Venerable Sayadet Vongsopa, former Secretary General of His Holiness Pramaha Pong Sumaluk, as the President of Central Buddhist Fellowship Organization out loud, PDR. And so the last one, thank you so much to Venerable Sok TV, President of Tamika Academy from USA, to be our speaker today. So the Dhamma talk this morning come to an end. So thank you so much. May you all be blessed by the triple chant. Thank you so much. Yeah, goodbye. Yeah.
Sape sata vira honto sukita honto nittuka honto abja paja honto anika honto tiga yuka honto aroka honto sape samechanto sukhi atta nang pariharanta tukha patta janit tukha bhaya patta janit bhaya soka patta janit soka honto sape be pane no. Thank you.